saying I'm an expert, but youth group definitely left trauma. Today we're covering Gus's hilarious youth group parody satire video. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you know when I am posting. I really love doing this. I really love it. It gives me an excuse to put on nice clothes because there's not a lot going on right now because coronavirus is ruining everything. If you guys want to check out my Instagram, there's not a lot happening there, but sometimes I think I'm cute and I hit that fall fit. If you remember from the last video, you know you want to see it. I would put the link to the makeup I use, but nobody cares. So, and I don't even know. If you remember my Jeffree Star video, I'm really not talented with makeup. I just slap it on my face and hope for the best. So yeah, I went on a tangent. I love to talk. I went to a private Christian elementary school. I went to 2 different Catholic high schools. I was baptized in the Catholic Church. So I'm not saying that I'm an expert in all things spiritual, but I do know youth group pretty well. I was an active youth group member from grade 6 through, I would say, high school, and then I was kind of in and out of the youth group scene. But I was an active member of the youth group. Okay, I sang on the church group in the morning sometimes. I went through Baptist premarital counseling. I mean, that ended in divorce. So again, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I am saying I do have a lot of experience in the Christian scene. Is that a thing? Gus definitely nailed this comedic sketch. Sushi Fu says, as a Christian, never before have I been so offended about something I 100% agree with. Sushi Fu and Tiny Bell definitely approve of this video, and I think you will too. And I suggest going and watching the clip because it's a wicked, quick little comedic sketch. I'm gonna insert clips too, so you'll get your tea. You'll get your fill. Your fill?
You'll get your full. Like cup full, or is it you'll get your fill? Like I'm full.
Food for thought. I felt like I had met people in the comments who were very similar to me in my stance on this. So obviously, as I was listening to Gus, I was swiped in the comments. And this is what I found. So the first aspect I really want to talk about is the music.
The stuff. Golly, I like pretty much any music that sounds like a sermon set to royalty-free music. Hey, what do you guys say we head inside and listen to a sermon with our hands in the air the entire time? Ow, feel God on my fingertips.
When it comes to church music, I'm haunted. I'm haunted. Not just because it's October and it's finally spoopy time. I mean, like, I'm genuinely haunted. I still cringe when I'm playing my Apple Music and I'm supposed to be listening to like Christy Carlson Romano telling me to say the word if I need her help. Say the word, make a call and I'll be there. And instead, Apple takes me back to Christian worship music. And I can tell from those first little jingles, those first little notes, that I'm being taken back to a time where I don't want to go. So when I say I'm haunted, I mean, I'm haunted. Fanatic Cool says, no, my church played Kanye West. It was the most awkward situation ever. They were always trying to force it and
feel God on my fingertips
and be like, we're hip, we're young, and I just felt like I really did not enjoy that. I was like, please, I don't even know what I like, and I'm a child. I don't want you to pretend that you know what I like. That's weird, don't you think? Gus's description of Christian music as basically a sermon set to royalty-free music is not wrong. Like, I hate to say it, but that's the vibe that you got from these songs they would be like really blasting in the sanctuary. Come on guys, let's get to the sanctuary. It's just very forced. It felt very ridiculous at times. Chase commented,
okay gang, let's put the jewel away, all right? The only thing we're reliant on here is K, am I right?
The one thing I did not expect in 2020 was a Reliant K reference. So I don't know, from based on what I've already said, if it sounds like I'm taking a negative stance. I'm really not. I think that I made some great friends at youth group. It was fun. It was cheesy and corny and weird, but like it was fun that we were together. And I think the people really made youth group. It really wasn't the stuff we were doing. By the time we were getting older, we were like, this seems weird. Some of us were like fanatics who were like, yeah, you better not be slapping together because you're gonna go to hell if you better relax. And then we had people who were low key, like, this place is crazy, but I come for you. I had great experiences at youth group. I met my first boyfriend at youth group. I had my first heartbreak from said boyfriend. I made friends during that time period of going that I still have to this day. I would say the second or third time I saw my best friend today was at youth group. So I even had a woman who was a youth group counselor or like leader let me live with her family for like a year of my life, and she saved my life. Like I really was on a path of like young teen rebellion destruction, and she really was like such a guiding force in my life. Like we literally lived together. It was kind of like a sitcom. It was the three of us. It was like me, her with her 2 kids, and her husband away, and the friend who like was kind of young and I don't know, dating, and it was just really an experience where I grew as a woman, as a person. And I still was making mistakes, but at least I had somebody in my life that was very guiding, because at that point I really wasn't speaking to my family. I was a really rebellious, I had a rough high school career, adolescence. I had a rough adolescence. So youth group was really such a guiding thing for me, and I felt like I had found people that I loved. So it's not all bad. You know what I'm saying? But even like my best memories of youth group are peppered with these really strange beliefs that they would kind of shove down your throat, and it was very unbecoming behavior of somebody who says they're living a spiritual life. I mean, 90zilla's comments, you also forgot the part, I have to pull this up because I'm blind and I'm doing my best, I can't see it. 90zilla says, you also forgot the part where if you think the dinosaurs existed, you're disrespecting the Lord. Okay, 90zillas, I'm hearing some trauma. I'm hearing some trauma because we know that they did exist. We know that. We know that dinosaurs existed, right? Like that's not a Christian value, is it? Is it? Is it? I mean, I've been out of the loop, but is it? That kind of anxiety brings me to another point, which is that the kind of relief that you felt when you were like let go from summer camp or like youth group and you were like allowed to hang out and be your own people for like 16 minutes before your mom came, just that relief is very real. Like that was a really reoccurring theme within the comments, this ideology of like, oh my God, thank God it's over. God, do you hear me? Like, thank God it's over. I think maybe that relief that you feel when it's over is definitely like tied to the church's image of like stifling things. Like I feel like from my experience, the church really stifled sexuality, homosexuality, but really ignored a lot of its own wrongdoing within it. And I felt that in my personal church, but also in churches I would see would be a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of like stifling your inner person. And I just like can't vibe with that. Like I don't have a problem with Christianity or any religion. Let me put that very clearly. I just personally believe in a more spiritual approach than like a building where we all go to worship together. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't do it for me. I think it's weird for me personally. But I respect whatever you want to do. If you want me to go with you, I'll go one time. But like, I support, but it's just not for me. Which brings me to the joke that Gus makes about homework and homosexuality.
All right, gang, first off, don't forget to sign up for summer Bible camp. It's just like regular summer camp, except there's homework and you're not allowed to be gay.
Nick says, I just saw my best friend from Bible camp 15 years later. Everyone wanted us to date at the time. Turns out I'm gay and she's a lesbian. So that's a fun update. I'm just gonna call this person Lai because it's easier. So Lai says, when he said it's the end of the day, relief just swept across my body as if I were in this horrible hell for like 6 whole hours and I'd finally earned my freedom. Is he wrong? And then another person whose name is Larry says, so it's not just me? In which Water Nebula says, will our minds ever recover? And it's kind of like a haha, but also like a will we? Because there was trauma. There was definitely trauma. Dumb Metal says, that's how I feel when my pastor says, okay, we're gonna wrap up this church service. Bean follows that up with saying, the serotonin that one sentence can provide, I had to watch it again. So Gavin says, it's funny because I had a similar feeling even though I've literally been to church like 5 times. Isn't that crazy how you can still get that same feeling of like, oh no, oh no. I just think that's so interesting. So Gus is describing regular camp, right, in the clip that I showed you, and he says, it has homework and you're not allowed to be gay. That's the difference between regular camp and Christian camp. Bible camp, which he compares to some Bo Burnham lyrics.
My whole family thinks I'm queer, that is all I ever hear. But I've been as straight as a ram, if you don't count Bible camp.
Follows that up by saying, we all know shit went down at Bible camp. I had no excursions at Bible camp myself personally. I think I did like kiss my boyfriend behind a rock. But you know, we all know. If you went to Bible camp, you know there was some stuff happening in those back rooms. Fire Drake says, and I'm only adding this comment because I want to hear if you guys agree, but Fire Drake says, I have never been religious, never stepped foot in a church in my life, and I felt relieved when he said that. So, I don't know. Isn't that crazy? I just thought that was so interesting. Okay, so obviously I didn't want to do all negative because not everybody feels that way about church. And I have to say, like I said in the middle of the video, I have had some really good experiences at church. It's not all bad, but some of it is bad. Phoebe Hartford says, my youth group is nothing like this. We play games that are surprisingly violent, lol. Also, after service, we all usually go and hang out and play hide and seek around the campus. And I feel that was the best part about youth group, the camaraderie, the friends. Eastman Editing followed that up by saying, seriously, I just did a childhood trauma mediation and realized most of my adult anxiety stems from my time at church camp and youth group. I couldn't wait for the day, service, or camp when my parents picked me up. I remember thinking something was terribly wrong with me because everyone else seemed to be enjoying themselves. Like, it's so interesting how so many different people had so many different experiences. Obviously, there's just so many people in the world, but I really love human behavior and I think it's fascinating. Like, some people have really traumatic, they have to go to therapy. They're not okay. And some people are like, oh, fond memories. And some people are like, in the middle. It's me. And just again for another positive comment before I end this video is Casler. Why would you put an I if it's Casler? Casler. He says, it's a funny sketch, but this comment section makes me feel like I'm the only one who had a much more awesome youth group experience than this, because there were kind of a difference. There was a lot of like negative comments and not a lot of positive comments. Are most youth groups actually this bad? And Bluebird followed it up by saying, yes, it's torture and you're lucky if yours was good. So it's really startling. It's really startling the difference in the stories and the comments. And I would say I definitely fall in the middle. I really had some amazing relationships and met amazing people, and probably my life was saved by my parents enrolling me in youth group because I met a lot of awesome people who helped me along the way when I wasn't ready or willing to accept help from my wonderful family who was like, can we help you? And I was like, no, I'm going through things. So meeting those people really did change my life. So I don't know, I just love to see, I thought it was a really good comment section because people were replying back to people and having an actual conversation instead of like spam or like showing up and like being like, you suck, you. Some people just comment, you. Like, how unoriginal. Come original to the comment section. Step your comment game up because I'm watching. I'm now the comment police.
Proceed with caution.
Wouldn't that be fun? If I was like the comment police? I don't know. I liked it. I love you guys. So subscribe, comment down below. I answer all your comments down below. I answer all your comments on my Facebook page. Don't comment on my Instagram, probably. Just like hit a like because I can't keep up with all of that. I'm only one girl. Let's pick our meanest comment of the week. I'm gonna put up the meanest comment of the week. All right, I'm done. I'm Tiny Belle and I'm tired. Also, it's finally October.
It's ghost time.
It's ghost time. All right, I'm done. Happy Halloween every day until October 31st.
Zeke, no Kanye, okay? The Lord may forgive, but I do not.